Hey, everyone. Welcome back to the Bonus Bone Podcast. Shasta, Lamont, Tonelli.
Yo, what is happening?
I'm back.
Baby Huey, we're all back finally
Yes.
in the same room. We had a couple of weeks there where it was like we were kind of limping
Vacations and stuff going on after work that we couldn't make it all at the same time.
And actually, we've been waiting on you, Lamont, specifically to be back to go over this topic because we knew you had such a good story.
Okay, I've got a problem going into this podcast, and I'll tell you what it is.
Oh, what?
Well, the way that this microphone is friggin' situated.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
But if I look over to the side, my hair is so friggin' bad right now. It looks
That's
like
right.
I'm wearing a toupee. It looks like friggin' Frank
Does it?
Sinatra.
It just looks like you woke up.
Where?
Yeah. No, it looks like the old Frank Sinatra toupee. Seriously. I mean, it really, I need to go to a good hairstylist.
I think you have
I've
great
got
hair.
a grudge against my hairstylist
here
now.
we go. Well, that's the
Or
topic.
get a toupee and cover it up.
Yeah. Nice segue. So we're talking grudges. I have no concept of how we came across this topic. It was, like I said, several weeks ago. But as soon as we said the word grudge,
Oh, I've got grudges.
All right, so we're going to let you kick this one
hold
off.
things against people to the day they friggin' die. And even when they die, I still hold it against them.
I will say Lamont is one you don't want to cross.
Sully told me a long time ago he's like an elephant. Never forgets.
I remember. I fucking remember. I remember if someone wronged me in the 12th fucking grade.
Okay, then let's just go down your list of grudges. This should be freaking entertaining.
Well, first off, there's one that I'm surprised. Tonelli was there for this one. Remember when we went to the Boston Beer Fest?
Yeah.
And we were on a bus that was taking us from the hotel to the friggin' broadcast.
It was a great event.
Oh, phenomenal.
Ton
I
of fun.
friggin' love Boston beer. So we were on this bus, and there was a fucking guy in radio that's a complete fucking douchebag, no talent, piece of shit, okay? So he worked across the street, and he was stealing all of our shit and putting it on the air and saying it was his.
Yeah.
Oh, I know who
Right?
we're talking about.
Okay, you know who I'm talking about. So anyway, the guy flamed out after 2 years of doing this.
As they usually do.
Exactly. But you know what? Hey, horse on him. But still, then he started talking shit about me behind my back, and it was getting back to me from people that were working in the industry. So his career flamed out, and he ended up working for some friggin' small ass fucking radio station in Santa Rosa. I'm not going to mention his name, but you can kind of figure it out.
We pieced it together by this point.
So here's the deal. He had no fucking ratings, and he's working in Santa Rosa for like a minuscule fucking salary. Well, the Boston Beer Fest came around, and he went and begged fucking Jim Cook, the owner of Boston Beer, I really like doing that event. Can I come? And Jim Cook is a real good fucking dude.
Really good guy.
Great guy.
Yeah.
So Jim Cook was telling me the story, and he goes, he put me on such a spot. I go, yeah. I go, oh, fuck, I am so happy he's there. So I'm on the fucking bus, and he comes on the bus with his wife, okay? And the kid might have been there, I'm not sure, but I remember I embarrassed the shit out of him in front of his wife. So he looks at me and Paul sitting on the bus, and I think Sully was on the bus too.
Yep.
And when he walked up, he kind of like did a second take, but he had no way around it. He had to walk by me. So he walks by me and goes, hey, man, how you doing? Like all friendly. Okay. And I fucking stood up and said, you piece of fucking shit, you motherfucker. You don't even talk to me, you no talent piece of crap. And I'll tell you what, if you even attempt to talk to me, I'll throw you off the bus myself. So now he is standing there, doesn't know what to fucking do because he's with his wife. His kid might have been there too because he might have turned it into a vacation for his family.
Probably.
So he skulked to the back of the fucking bus, and I think he started crying.
Oh, my
And now
God.
his wife is going, what the fuck is going on, right? So still to this fucking day, I rue him. And
Yep.
I will tell you this, I will hold a grudge to the day I fucking die against that piece of shit. That is one of many.
Yeah,
That
for
is
good
one
reason.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Do you remember that moment?
Oh,
You were
yeah.
there? Oh,
Yeah. Tanel thought he was going to be breaking up a fight on the bus.
I bet. Man,
But he's too big of a pussy to fight that fucker.
Oh, he
wish I
wasn't
would've-
going to fight.
No, he
Not a
wasn't gonna
chance.
fight. Yeah.
Not a chance. I wish I would have been there.
Yeah, that's one of many. Now, there are a couple of comedians that I didn't fucking like.
Oh, I
Baby
knew
Huey
this.
knows
This list is a bit long. 'Cause,
that I heard they were talking shit about me as well on other fucking radio stations.
Oh, really?
And then they had the fucking balls to try and book themselves in here 2 months later.
Right.
When the other shows were gone. And you knew the other shows were gone because they had no fucking talent. No talent. So anyway, these fucking shows are gone. And then all of a sudden they come to town and they fucking have the balls to try and book themselves into the show. So what did I tell Baby Huey? I said, no, you tell them they talk shit about me. And by the way, this has been going on for 15 years now. They still try and get in on the show because they want to fucking promote the show.
Yeah.
I said, no, 15 years later, this is what happens when you talk shit about me. I have a grudge.
Yeah.
These guys will never end up on there.
It's too small of an industry to make
Right?
stupid decisions like that.
Yeah.
Talking
Well,
shit on
and the
people.
things they said, too, were just uncool.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
it was
It's
just
hard to come back
ridiculous.
from stuff like that.
So, motherfuckers, fuck you. Where's my fucking camera here? There we go. Fuck you. And my grudges, I hold them and I fucking hold them, like I said, to the day I die. This one didn't even happen to me. And I've got a fucking grudge against these people.
You hold somebody else's grudge?
I hold someone else's grudge. Now, my brother worked in radio too. Do you know this story, Baby
I think
Huey?
so, I think.
Okay, my brother worked in radio, and he was on the air and did an interview. I'll even give you fucking names on this one.
Yeah, go for
because
it. We want the
I'm
tea.
a big fan of the band. I love the band Triumph.
Okay.
I fucking love them. So Rick Emmett was on with my brother, and he was fucking ruder than shit to my fucking brother. Now, you don't fuck around with my fucking brother. So now, 20 years later, this happened last year.
Yeah.
20 years later, Triumph was getting back together for a fucking reunion fucking tour and concert. And by the way, it flamed out. So the manager for Triumph contacts me, sends me a fucking letter because he knew I was originally from Canada. Said, hey, Rick Emmett is getting the band together and they're putting a tour together. Would you be interested in talking to Rick Emmett? And I go, yeah, I fucking love Triumph, okay? I think Rick Emmett is a great fucking guitarist. So a week before the fucking interview is going to be on the air, I was telling my brother, I go, hey, you know, you're never going to guess. Rick Emmett, I'm going to talk to him because they've got like a reunion going. And goes, oh, my brother said, wait till you hear this story. And he told me how Rick Emmett fucked him over. I said, you know what? If he's your enemy, he's my enemy because you're family. So the next day, I called up the fucking manager for the band. I go, hey, Rick Emmett interview for next week, it's off.
Oh, my God.
And the guy goes, why? You were so excited to talk to him. I said, until I found out he fucked my brother over 20 years ago. He goes, what? I go, and I told him the story, and I said, if he fucks over my brother, he fucked over me. Fuck you, Rick Emmett.
That is, I love that you carry someone else's grudge.
I will.
You
If
just
someone fucks you over, I'll fuck them over.
And I appreciate that.
Yeah.
You actually just reminded me of a story that I never thought I would tell on the air, and I've got to be super careful because
Okay.
this is a major band. Baby Huey knows this story. I think you guys might know this story too.
Tell me, please,
A couple years ago.
because I will hold them as an enemy to for the rest of my life.
It's one of the biggest bands in the world of rock, a band I love very, very much. Their management.
Oh, yeah.
You know exactly what happened. Okay,
Sorry.
so I got an email and it was like, hey, we would really like to interview this person.
Yes.
They have a book out. And I was like, very excited. But I tempered my excitement and I
Okay.
was like, okay, great.
Yeah.
So I sent an email back. Fantastic. Really looking forward to the opportunity. Literally 1, maybe 2 sentences max. Because I responded with excitement, they took the interview away
Hold
from
it.
me.
Excitement.
because you were excited
Because
to
I was
talk to the
excited.
guy.
The sentence.
The sentence. I said, I'm really excited about the interview. I look forward to it. You
Yeah.
know, like we were setting up times. It was going to be on Zoom. we're setting up times. And so I just said that I was excited. I looked forward. Thank you for thinking of me. Because that's very me. Like,
Yeah.
I'm going to say that to...
Complimentary.
Anybody.
Well, to be honest, I would say that to like a C-list
Hey,
rock star because
Yeah, we look forward to it. I'm excited
I do look
for the opportunity.
Like, this is what I do for a living. I love my job. I
Not trying
love
to sound
chatting with
robotic.
people.
Like, you weren't over the top.
I wasn't
you were like,
like-
oh my God.
No, I could have been like, oh my God, I've played this band for like 20-year career
I've
and I
always
know
wanted
every
to,
song.
blah, blah, blah.
I could have done that, but I'm more professional than that.
Right.
And they-
it's not like you put down, hey, I am so excited for this. My panties look like lasagna.
Okay, really? You're such a fucking weirdo.
All right. Lasagna's an overstatement.
It's over, like,
That's what I'm
Maybe
saying.
a
You
dish
didn't
rag.
overstate it.
maybe a what?
A dish rag.
You see what I deal with every day of my life. Anyway, but the capper is that they didn't even come directly back to
unbelievable.
me
Right.
and say we're canceling.
Yeah.
They went to my boss here and said we're gonna not.
We're not doing
Oh, I
it
thought
they
because
contacted
she's
you
a
directly.
fangirl.
No, they were too chicken
Well,
shit.
that's bullshit on them.
And they told my boss I was overly excited.
That's even worse than you saying you were excited.
Totally.
Right.
And I was like, what? So my boss calls me, and to be fair, I have like 6 bosses, but he calls me and he's like, hey, I just want to let you know this is a thing. You know, he was really great. He was like, you keep being you. You
Yeah.
know, be that genuine soul that you are. Like, this is lame. This happens, whatever. But I was like, no, fuck that, man.
So they canceled the whole deal.
They canceled the whole deal. Well, the other people got to interview him, but I did
Except
not.
for you.
Well, yeah, but I mean, as far as you were concerned.
Oh, yeah. No, it never happened. It would have been the biggest interview that I
So
would
now,
have ever
what
been
if you get an opportunity to do that again?
Well, here's the hard part.
One word answers.
Well, I know,
Thank you.
right? Exactly. Great. Sure. Sounds good.
Do I have to?
Well, my thing is like I honest to God, I don't think the artist probably knew any of
Yeah.
this happened. Like I think this is their
was all
management.
the management.
Yeah.
So
Then I will hold a grudge against their manager.
Well, then horse on them for having lousy managers.
Right.
Exactly.
They should know
They should know what's happening
Right.
in their camp.
because they want to be represented in their light.
And you know what sucks? And this is I shouldn't say this, but I'm gonna. I listened to the other interviews that he did.
They sucked.
I could have done so much better.
They suck.
Because I actually am a huge fan.
No.
I had already listened to their book.
I don't even want to make you mad over this, but my brother on his show did talk to this guy.
Your brother did?
My brother has
Fuck
like
that. I'm
and
kidding.
it went on for 45 minutes. The guy wouldn't get off the phone. He was such a great guy that he gave my brother his personal cell
Oh,
phone
that's
number.
right. You did tell me that. I did forget.
Yes.
But your brother, to be fair, I'm sure did a great interview.
He did a great
I haven't
interview.
seen it, but
Yeah.
I just knew I would have done a great interview because I had read the book. I knew going in exactly what I would have asked.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have even had to prepare for that.
If you talk to this person down the road, would you tell them that story?
I probably would.
No, you'd have to.
Oh,
I
I
probably
would.
Because they probably don't know.
Because
like
I
you
really
said.
think this person is known in the industry to be a very good, decent human
Yeah.
being.
And that's management
And I
getting
can't
carried away
imagine-
with who they are and who they
Yeah.
represent.
Yeah, I can't imagine he would know this and be like, yeah, they represent me.
Give
That's
me the
good.
manager's name.
Yeah.
He's on my shit list.
So that's one that I won't.
To the
Say
day
the
he
name.
dies, I rue him.
I have others I will say names, but somebody else take it. I've been talking too long.
Well,
yeah.
mine are just business related. I can't really get too specific. See that, but Baby Huey keeps laughing. You're probably remembering something I can't even think of.
I know one, but I can't say it because,
Well, why? What are you thinking?
well,
I'm just
they
thinking
used
of
to be a sponsor here.
I'm just thinking of different outbursts I've seen you have in person.
Outburst. That's it.
Well,
Las
an outburst
Vegas.
is what's that?
To the city of Las Vegas.
No,
What did I do in Vegas?
the
Oh, I had an
blackjack.
outburst last week.
No, the blackjack dealer. Sorry. So I thought you
Wait, somebody tell
Yeah,
this
but now
story.
you have to narrow it down to which blackjack dealer.
at the Flamingo.
Oh, because they cut down the jackpot, the payout on and this is widespread now, but this is when it first started on blackjack.
When you get a blackjack at 21.
You get 3-2.
I remember
So
this
if
was a pet peeve of yours for a long time.
If you
Okay.
yeah.
if you put down 2 $5 chips for a $10 bet,
Yeah.
you'll get 3 back. They
Okay.
pay 3-2.
Okay.
Well, the casinos are so damn cheap that their winning margin wasn't enough that they have now lessened 3-2 to 6-5.
Oh, okay.
So 3-2 is essentially 6-4.
Right.
Right.
They need to get that extra
Itty bitty,
little
yep,
drop of blood out of you.
Oh, yeah.
So this is when they first instituted the
6
change.
to 5 deal.
It wasn't like a widespread rule change.
Right.
Some of the casinos would do it. And
He was wondering where the rest of his money
you
was.
can still find 3 to 2 payouts if you go to some of the lesser casinos that are looking for players.
I was going to say, are those
which
like
I'll
downtown
find.
Las Vegas? Yeah, I was going to
Yes, you
say,
will.
yeah.
You have to head to the dark side of town, but I'm not too cheap or too proud.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So anyway, I guess I was railing on. I forget exactly what I said to the dealer, but Danny,
You
would you
were
like to
standing
read
there
it
to
out
witness?
for
You're
me?
like, that's not the way it's done. That's not the rule. Like he was hitting the table and I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna have to carry him out of here before security comes.
You're going to have to be the heavy.
That is not how the game is played. Like,
Oh, my God. That's great. I wish I could have seen that.
So-
Do you remember that one?
Yes, I just don't remember exactly.
He was
what
like Joe Pesci in Casino, like
Yes.
Nicky when he was crazy with the friggin' hit me again. Hit me again.
Oh, my God.
but I'm just thinking all your grudges with basketball refs and college basketball.
Oh, I
See,
can
Baby
see
Huey
that.
remembers this crap more than I do.
all the refs
The
and
nice thing is he's drunk when it happens, so he doesn't remember the next day.
that's the deal.
Right. I had a feeling there were drinks involved, at least in
There's
that story.
always drinks involved. So last, was it 2 weeks ago, the golf trip that I just took. We went out to dinner after a round of golf on Saturday. We were going to go out to a restaurant to go to dinner, but guys decided to stay at the golf course where we're at.
And you had dinner at the golf course.
Yeah, because guys were too lazy to leave, go get cleaned up. They're like, let's just eat here.
Yeah.
So we were drinking, and we actually ran up a decent tab.
Yeah.
And we were drinking inside the restaurant. When they decided to go to dinner, they say, hey, you know what? It's nice out. Let's get a table outside. So we had settled the drink tab, and you know, I had like a glass. I wasn't drinking that much. This is one time.
I call bullshit on this story.
really?
I believe you. You've been watching your weight, doing the diet thing. I
But
believe
it
you.
still was
Liquid
a good
diet.
drink tab because there were like 15 people around the table.
Yeah.
So we had established ourselves as decent customers.
Yeah.
Nothing was going wrong
Right.
at this point.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
everything was fine. So we go outside and we sit down. And conversation's lively and the whole bit. We order. And it was not from the time we sat down, from the time we ordered, it was an hour and a half
Wow.
until the meal came out.
Oof.
So
He just wanted you to drink more.
People are
everything
going to be
was fine.
drunk by
Yes, we
then.
run
Yeah.
more of a tab. So we're sitting around, and I'm not really paying attention. Somebody finally says, God, it's been more than an hour since we ordered. And I had ordered a Cioppino on the advice of a guy who had been to the restaurant, who was with us. And it was an expensive dish. It was like a $50 Cioppino.
Wow.
Fuck.
That's exactly what I said. But the guy said, you should get it, blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
And we were getting a discount anyway because of the size of the group, or somebody knew somebody. We were getting like a 20% discount.
Sure you were.
So
Mayor
I was
of
like,
everywhere.
I would never order, because you can go to
So now it's a $40.
You can go to
bowl of
restaurants and
Cioppino.
get an absolutely fantastic Cioppino.
Yeah.
Yes.
Especially in San Francisco.
Yeah.
That's going to be maybe $40 to $45 on the high end.
Yeah.
But it is fantastic.
But it's a real
You're getting your money's worth.
Cioppino.
There's a lot of seafood
It's
in
like a
Cioppino,
meal,
right? Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Oh, seafood and the broth and everything.
Yeah.
And then you sop up the broth at the end and you're like, oh, I just ate too much. So I was like, well, I'll give their Cioppino a shot.
Yeah.
So I'm not really even thinking about the delay at this point. Somebody finally says, geez, it's been an hour and a half. Somebody should say something. So I got up and I asked the waitress to send the manager out.
Oh,
no,
this is
that
great.
wasn't
I
it.
wish I was there. On
No,
that.
no, the manager comes later. I'm mixing up the story because
Okay.
we did something before the manager came out. So I got the waitress and I said, look, it's been like an hour and a half. And she said, I'm so sorry. They're backed up in the kitchen, blah, blah, blah. I said, look, it's not your fault. But if you could maybe speed things up a little bit, because we've been sitting here for almost 2 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we haven't gotten anything. So finally, the food server comes out, not the waitress, but the guy that just brings the food out of the kitchen. And I forget the guy's name. And I saw his name tag. And we were like, hey, the food's here, right?
Yeah.
So then I break out into my hooray song. Hooray for so-and-so.
Yeah. He's a
Hooray.
horse's ass.
Yeah, he's a horse's ass is the way it ends, right? Song's longer than that. But it ends, he's a horse's ass. Hey! It's a big celebratory song. And then he gave the food out, and we're like, hey, that's great. And then I got to look at my Cioppino.
Yeah.
That not only was the meal an hour and a half after we ordered it, but my Cioppino had like 5 pieces of fish and 3 baby clams in it. And like this really thick, pasty kind of a sauce more than a broth.
Yeah.
I mean, 5
probably some
pieces,
special
5
sauce
pieces
with
of
that.
fish that were about this size like this.
You do realize the fucking cook was pissed off at your complaints and probably dipped his balls in your Cioppino.
So I said, well, then that was the last straw. Not only did we wait an hour and a half. So then I told the waitress, I said, come here. Yeah. And can you go get the manager? So
He pulled Karen out.
that's when the manager comes out.
Karen Tonelli is now on the scene.
The drunk Karen Tonelli.
Yeah.
And she comes out, and I said, look, this has been completely unacceptable.
Yeah.
We've been waiting here for almost 2 hours.
Yeah.
We finally got the meal. I said, and I hold up my dish because it was kind of a bowl. I said, and this is a $50 Cioppino with 5 pieces of fish and 3 baby clams.
Oh, God.
And we waited 2 hours. And not only that, but it's lukewarm. So she comes back at me, and she says, sir, the business will comp everybody's dinner.
Wow.
We understand it's late, but we do not appreciate you calling our food server a horse's ass.
Oh, my God. You did not.
So I sat down. I said, fair enough. Thank you for comping the meal. And I didn't eat a lick of it.
You didn't even try it?
Nope.
Oh, my God.
No, I had tried it before she got there. It was lukewarm.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I said, well, if they're going to comp this and she's pissed off at me, I am not going to give her the satisfaction of me eating this meal.
Oh, the cook was all pissed off because he dipped his balls in
It's
your
probably
soup.
really good you didn't eat
Right?
it because
I
I
did not
agree
eat
with
it.
Lamont. I bet that
they
had all.
fucked your soup up big time.
That is hilarious.
We never really complained to the kitchen. We just said, hey,
You were
meal's
pissed off
late.
it took so long, though. He's just like,
an hour and a
"Wow,
half. Are you kidding me?
Fuck him.
Shit,
Where's that
people are
soup
out
I
of
can
restaurants
dip
in
my
an
balls
hour.
in?"
Oh,
Yeah.
dude. Really short addendum to that story. I went to a wedding one time and it took them over 2.5 hours to get food out after they gave everybody an open bar.
Yeah.
I've never been that drunk in my life.
Yeah.
Because you think food is coming. So you're
Right.
hanging out and you're not thinking about it. And by the time food came, every person at that wedding had their head on the table. I'm not kidding. We were all knocked out. It was like the worst night of my life.
That's
anyway,
great.
Grudge, hit us.
I was thinking probably one of the early ones I can remember was junior year high school. Had a crush on this senior girl in my class. And we were talking and she's telling me she's a Green Day fan. And I was like, wow, you're talking to the biggest
She's
Green Day
going to
fan.
be my wife.
Yeah, I was going to think, did you think marriage at that
Yeah,
point?
right?
Absolutely. And she was telling me she only knew like the recent albums at that time in the late 90s, early 2000s, just like the mainstream major label stuff.
And you were going to educate her.
I was going to educate her and be like,
Of course.
oh, have you heard their early stuff? Like on Lookout Records, early 90s? She's like, no, I never heard of it. I said, I'll bring my CDs in for you.
This is the infamous stole the CD story. I love
She
it.
stole your CDs?
I'll let you borrow them, take a listen, and let me know what you think. So I gave the first album to her, and I think like a couple weeks went by, or at least 1 week, and I was like, can you bring it back? What'd you think? And she's like, oh, I haven't listened to it yet. And like a couple weeks go by, and I'm like, can you bring back my CD now, please? Keep in mind, this is late 90s, early 2000s. CDs were still a big thing.
Yeah.
And
Let me ask you something. Okay. Did it not cross your mind?
yeah.
You could burn CDs at that point.
Could
Why
you
don't
burn yet?
I don't
just
know if I
copy it
had a
off.
burner yet on my.
think I
I did
would
get
at
one.
time.
Or play it and put it on a cassette. Make her a cassette for
Oh,
I think
yeah.
That way you wouldn't have been
No,
chancing your valuable property.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I think it was until senior year I got all that equipment
Yeah,
after the
yeah.
fact. But I think like a month went by or something like that. And I said, hey, can you please bring it back? Like,
You're
I
no
mean,
longer thinking she's wife material.
no, absolutely. No,
He has divorced
we're
her.
divorced. We're gone.
That ended when he started talking about Green Day.
So she's like, fine. And then she brings back the CD. and I opened it. The CD, the jewel case itself was cracked,
Right.
broken at one of the tops. And then I look at the CD, it's all scratched up. And I'm like, what the fuck happened to this thing?
Use it as a coaster.
Apparently.
No. Apparently she got into an argument with her brother. And
With her boyfriend.
Yeah, right?
and threw the CD at him and like crashed against the wall and like fell behind her bed. That's how it got all scratched up. I'm like, what the fuck? Like this is like
probably fell behind her bed because she was banging her
Yes.
boyfriend.
Oh,
and it fell
God.
But it's
back
like my
there.
prized possession, like their first album. Like
possession.
Was this
Well,
like
that was your
a
first mistake.
Yeah, exactly.
was this a real like an album release, or was this like a underground thing that was passed around the East Bay?
No,
kind of
it
thing?
was their first album.
It was like a legitimate
from Lookout
right.
Records.
Okay, gotcha.
But like,
But it was still, like,
it took me
very important.
because at the time you had to go to like certain stores in Berkeley to
Yeah.
find it. It wasn't
Yeah.
like available everywhere.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Like I made the journey and spent my recycle money on that CD. Like that $15 meant a lot. The hustle to get that CD. And yeah, she just threw it against the wall and busted the jewel case and scratched up the CD. And from that point on, I was like, never again I'm loaning anyone anything. You got to get yourself.
Which is a really good rule to live by the
But
way.
no, I was so furious with her.
Do you know that girl anymore?
Yeah, she's on social media
Do
still.
you follow her?
I think so, yeah.
Have you ever been like, do you remember the time that you borrowed my Green Day?
Bitch.
She's watching this right now. She's
Yes.
like, wow, he really holds on to shit. It's weird. That's
Yeah.
funny. That's a
no,
good
it
one.
was just fucking annoying. Just like I was trying to do a nice thing, and then she just takes away my possession.
Never do
for
nice
granted.
things.
Never,
I know.
yeah. Bottom line is never do nice things.
Never go away from people. That's my motto.
We've learned a lot today. Also, we've learned that Lamont will take all of our grudges and just live in
Oh,
that.
hey, they're bad. They're in my head right now.
Yeah. I mean, there's a couple I should
Even the
hold.
girl
but-
with the fucking CD.
Yeah.
Even though
Fuck her.
She avoided a fucking bullet by not ending up
Hey,
with you. Yeah, anyway.
I'll hit him for you. I got you. Don't you worry. All right. Well, if you have a grudge, unreasonable or not, I'm still thinking about the Cipino. It just sat there and got cold. That hurts my heart.
Right?
Yeah. Well, it wasn't really Cipino.
All the
So
it's so
it
Italian.
was faux Cipino.
It was the soup
Focino,
of some young
Fopino.
guy, but the sounds of it.
Cipino?
If you have a grudge, let us know. We want you to leave a comment. We'd love to read about them. Thank you for
If
everybody.
someone has fucked you over, I'll take on that grudge personally.
You know what? I was just going to say, leave them so that Lamont can now hold your grudge in his heart, in his black heart. Thank you guys for being here. We appreciate it. We'll talk to you next time. Bye.